Good evening, Chrsitine Assouad, and welcome everyone to this panel and book signing session. Chrsitine, we had the pleasure of having you here at Antoine Cafe for your book club, her book club. So for you, I'll just welcome you again. On the occasion, super happy to have you, on the occasion of the book signing of your book, The Power to Say Yes, which is a reflection of your rich journey that I discovered would be happy to discover even more with you. So a reflection and a call for women empowerment. To start with a quick bio. On the Lebanese scene, your name is associated to a thriving business, Duncan, we can name them, and a top-rated show, Shark Tank. So tell us more about these experiences and how they may have shaped you a little bit more.
This is how we're starting. ما في مزح. So first, Duncan, I was 22 years old. It obviously shaped me a lot because two things. At 22, you don't know much and you start learning, but on the other hand, also you don't think that you're going to fail. So you just jump and do things and you don't really think about it. And it's been an amazing adventure, and I still run the company now, so it's been 30 years, which is huge, and I still love it and I still have fun. We had a shop tour this morning. We went to different stores, and I love being in the stores and the vibe. So Duncan has been part of my journey for a very, very long time. Shark Tank is a more recent experience. It's one of the last yes I said this year.
No regret.
No, not at all. It was amazing because from one side, the main reason is to impact the entrepreneurs that we're investing in, and I was pleasantly surprised to see how much we inspired people that were watching as well, and not only the companies that we're working with. It's been a very interesting journey. I learned a lot about the potential of the Lebanese youth and also of their needs. You all know that they don't know the numbers, so we're working on making sure that for season 2 people will be better equipped.
Speaking of impact, so for the past 5 years, your mission have evolved through the catalyst of growth, an impact-driven platform focusing on empowering women and in general supporting entrepreneurs. You are also a driving force behind the Empowering Tribe. We talked about her book club as well, the Catalyst leadership workshops for corporates, and so many initiatives like the Tribe Fund, the Spark program. I just want to know how you manage working on so many fronts at the same time.
First, I work with amazing people. So this is the secret source of everything we do. The Empowering Tribe, many of people that support me with the Empowering Tribe are here tonight for the Tribe Fund. I have an amazing team. So the Tribe Fund is the platform where we're investing in the companies. So we raise the fund to invest in the companies that I choose on Shark Tank. The Spark program is for entrepreneurs. So it's like surrounding yourself with people that are smarter, better than you in their specific discipline, and let them do their job. Because I used to micromanage a lot. Now I'm much better at not micromanaging to be able to do many things.
Spoken like a real leader and empowering your tribe. There's also something going on outside the boardrooms. You're the first Arab woman to reach the North Pole.
Arab. Not woman. First Arab to reach the North Pole.
You're a seasoned skydiver, and I discovered it was more than 389 jumps. You're an avid traveler with more than 83 countries visited and counting. You are a mother of 2 daughters.
My most important role.
Exactly. How about energy, dopamine, and speed?
Actually, I lived on very high adrenaline for 5 years. Like, I did every single crazy thing you can think of. I don't know how my mom didn't, put me in a room, because like if my daughters would have done this to me, I don't know what I would have done. And I love living, actually. So living life fully, and what all these sports helped me, and I thought about it later. I didn't think about about it back then. But the fact that I was pushing my limits and pushing my comfort zone on my personal life and on everything that it automatically I had a bigger comfort zone at work as well. So for example, when I started Duncan, even though I was young and everything, but I just came from a skydiving expedition over the North Pole. So how difficult it is to open few stores if you just skydive over the North Pole. So I always say to entrepreneurs that are going to do something that scares them in business, go and do something that scares you or outside your comfort zone in your personal life. You don't need to skydive over the North Pole, but you can do sailing, scuba diving, painting, sculpture, whatever is outside your comfort zone. As well. Exactly, because your mind, one of the main functions of your brain is your survival. So automatically it's going to always show you the danger, because it wants you to survive. Be careful of this, be careful of this. So the more you expand your comfort zone, the calmer your mind will be, because it will be, okay, if skydiving over the North Pole didn't kill her, opening stores is not going to kill her, so it's okay, I'll let her do it. And it's important for us to train our brain and to let it, be relaxed, that we're not going to kill ourselves, because the main function is for us to survive.
And to thrive in
Of course.
Zero
Of course,
comfort.
yes. We have one life. Why not live it fully?
For the second part, I have many of my colleagues that went through the book that have a lot of questions to ask you. Of course, we will be open to any Q&A session with the public. But to start with, everyone was wondering, why the book? Why now? Especially with so many workshops. So you're really on the front of practical advice.
Yeah.
Why the written advice now?
It's an interesting story, because the book started as a letter to my daughters. So I have two daughters that are 22 and 20 years old now. And for those of you who are in this age bracket, half of you could be my daughters, you know that you don't want to listen to your mom. And for all of you who have kids that are teenagers, you know that they don't want to listen to you. So I said, okay, they don't want to listen to me, I'm going to write them a letter. So I started writing a letter. The letter was so long that I said, okay, they're not going to listen to me, they're not going to read the 10 pages letter either. So I started thinking, how can I get the messages across? Because I learned so many things at 45 and above that I wish I knew when I was 20 years old, so there are so many life experiences that you want to share. So how can I put it in a way that is easy to read and interesting for people to read on one go, for my daughters and other people's daughters and other women, and this is how the book came. So it took me 6 months to think about the flow, what I wanted to share, but when I started writing, I never lived this experience before, because I usually do multiple things. I never spend all my time on one thing. So I started, it was a holiday, and no one was in Dubai back then. So I said, okay, I'm going to start and see where it goes. I started 8 a.m. till 3 a.m. every day for 15 days, non-stop. So I canceled everything. I couldn't think of anything else, like session with the tribe, other things, meeting with Duncans. I canceled everything because I felt, this flow. I've never been in this state where, so I'm so excited about this book because I feel that it came to me more than me writing it. And it has a very powerful message that is very simple to read. So this is the story of the book.
Another question about the book as well. It's filled with the stories and exercise, and it's a book that's going to be sold online everywhere across the globe. Someone asked me to ask you if you feel that empowerment works in a universal, let's say, approach, regardless of cultural differences.
Yeah. Great question, because I wrote the book for women in the Middle East. So this was, when I was writing it, this is who I was thinking about. And then when I started doing events like these ones, in corporate and in different settings, it happened that one of them was with a group of only Indians, another one that was only Europeans, and another one that was only Emirati. And I realized that the message is universal because we're talking to the human in us. So the human values, the human nature is very similar from one culture to the other. We come in different packages, colors of skins, etc. But the true human essence is the same. And it's with any personal growth books. It's most of the time it speaks to a lot of people.
Speaking of which, you've worked with over 3,000 women. The most common struggles when we talk about women in their prime, I'm talking about women mostly in their 40s, 50s, which is
the prime is 50s, yes.
Your prime. With the big taboo of perimenopause.
How doing it right now? Yeah.
How do you see it unfold?
Actually,
and
it's
resolve?
interesting because the main, when I started working, I always thought there's no difference between man and woman. If someone would call me a female entrepreneur, I'd be really upset. I'm not a female entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, there's no difference between the two, etc. And then after 30 years and working with more than 3,000 women, I realized that there is a difference, not in terms of how capable or how smart or driven we are, but because a lot of things in our personal life affect our career. And usually the career is set as a straight line, and it was set for men, because when work started, it was mostly, the career was set for a man's journey. But then for women, when we get married, when we are pregnant, when we have young kids, when we go up to perimenopause and menopause, so many things are happening in our personal life that affect our career. And this is leading to shame and guilt and feeling not enough, etc. So just taking the time to acknowledge that biologically we're different. And that's okay. For me, it's our superpower, not only, it's okay. But we need to accept that when we have young kids, it's okay if we're not opening 10 businesses and traveling all over the world. When we're starting a business, it's okay if we're not going out with our friends every night, etc. So we have things that are happening in our personal life that affects us, and we need to accept it. And sometimes we need to pause, sometimes we need to double down, sometimes some people take a break.
And about it as well.
It's education, and it's mostly taking a step back and taking a break and not being so tough on ourselves that we want to do everything all the time, going super fast. But the most important thing is for us at 90 years old, I want to live to 100, so for me at 100. So at 100 years old, looking back and being happy with the life that you live in every aspect of your life, not only career, not only family, not only friends, etc.
I will rebound on positivity, as you mentioned.
Anytime.
You come across as very positive, as you just mentioned. And I'm wondering, as a positive person myself, how complicated you find it to go through hardship and to explicitly go through hardship, and how you deal with it.
As you can see, Nancy is going very deep, directly. So thank you for this, because I am a very positive person, and I love seeing the glass half full and not the glass half empty. And early on, every time I had a negative feeling, I used to push it away. No, I'm positive, I don't have negative feeling, etc. And then negative feelings or hardship are part of the journey. And when we look back, every negative moments that I've been through, and I've been through a lot, like between divorce and moving countries and lots of things, like every single person living in Lebanon has been through hardship. Like it's impossible to, unfortunately, people graduate, people that have been through hardship. But when you look back, you realize that these hardships made you who you are today. So now when I'm faced with something that do not go my way, could be a positive thing, a contract that didn't go through, or something, whatever didn't go my way, I just take a step back and try to think, okay, what is this trying to teach me? what is it that I could do differently next time? What is it that I need to heal or learn or grow to be able to be the better version of myself? So today, when I look back of my hardship, it was the biggest growth moments, even when it felt horrible and I felt at the worst time in my life. And now I'm remembering specific moments where it was really, really tough. But now when I look back, it's these tough moments that led to where I am today.
Duly noted. I have another question for you, speaking of lessons as well. Among all the women you've mentored, is there something in common? Is there a criterion that always comes back as a leitmotif that defines, from their perspective, what a successful life is?
The most important thing for women is to know what we want. Because most of the time, we are just carried away. You know, we finish school, we go to university, we meet someone, we get married, we have kids, we work, we don't work, and we don't take the time to take a step back and decide what we want. Okay, Christine, Nancy, what each one of us want. So in fact, this book is an invitation for you to take a step back and to decide what do you want. Because we can, one of the exercises, so the book is stories and exercises to live a happy, meaningful life on your own terms. We didn't start with what this the book is all about. We got carried away with the conversation. So the aim of this book is for you to design a life that you love to live every single day. So this is what we're trying to do based on my experience, based on working with so many women. One of the exercises that I'm talking about in the book, I learned at Stanford. I did an executive program at Stanford School of Business, and one of the exercises was called Design Your Life, so using design thinking approach to design your own life. And the professor was saying that every decision you make changes your life, and we have 1,000 different iterations of what our life can be. Thousands. Yes, it's crazy. Like every single one of us, with our DNA, our background, the minute you were born, and the family you were born, and the country you were born, etc., we have 1,000 different options of what our life could be. So if you don't like your life, just, take a decision to make a change. And the first thing is to take a step back and to decide, like, am I happy with where I am today, or where do I want to go? Do I love what I do? There are plenty of exercises. There's the Stanford exercises. There's the Wheel of Life that I love. I do this exercise every 6 months. It's looking at every aspect of your life and deciding where you're at and which one, and focus on 3 priorities. Because sometimes we want to try to do it all. And if we look at the life level, you can do it all in a lifetime. But you cannot do it all this week, or this month, or every single day. And it's okay. We don't need to do it all every single day. The most important is to decide for the next 6 months, what are the 3 things that I need to focus on to be able to get closer to my goal or what I'm trying to accomplish. And putting the rest in pause, like as we were saying, if someone is starting a new business, you're not going to go out with your friends every day, you're not going to call your mom 3 times a day, and it's okay as long as you tell them, and now for the next 6 months, this is what I'm focusing on, and I'm not going to be focusing on other things. So you're just pausing them, you're not forgetting about them. In 6 months, you reassess, okay, now what are the things that I need to work on? So these are the little exercises and tools to support you in this journey of building your happy, meaningful life on your own terms.
So we stop the noise and redirect.
Yes, and focus on what's essential in this. I'm 52 now. My daughters are at universities, so I don't have kids at home. So automatically my priorities are different than when I was 30 years old, young mom with young kids at home. So things differ throughout our journey, and priorities differ, and it's okay.
Some keywords would be no guilt, I guess. No shame.
Guilt is another topic by itself. Raise your hand if you ever felt guilty. Yeah, exactly. Every time, if you notice, all the women raise their hand, the man less. And this is something, but this is true. It's interesting that women are more guilty in general than men. And I remember I have a couple of stories with guilt. First, I was with a therapist, and she was telling me that guilt doesn't serve anyone. And she's right. Like, if you're guilty because you're not with your kids, you're not helping your kids. If you're guilty because you're not at work, you're not helping your work. It's a useless feeling. And the best example of this, I was in Bhutan, which is a small country next to Nepal. And we had a 12 kilometers hike to the tiger's nest. Google it, it's really nice. It's a small monastery in the middle of nowhere. I'll never do it again. 12 kilometers uphill. It was like, we were dead at the end. But then we met a monk that is the super monk of Nepal, of Bhutan. And we got to ask him a question each. One of the ladies asked about guilt. She said, I'm guilty that I'm happy here while my kids are at home. He couldn't understand what guilt was. So it's not because he doesn't understand English, he's better than all of us. It's just the concept of guilt he couldn't understand, and you have all these many monks trying to Google translate to him what guilt was, and it took him literally 10 minutes. And once he understood, he looked at her and said, but why would you do that? You know, if you're living the moment and if you're enjoying this particular moment, you will not feel guilty. If you're living the present now, I can see all of you are focused and you are here. So you're not thinking about yesterday, you're not thinking about tomorrow, you're here. So when you're living the present, automatically you don't feel guilty. So guilt is a cultural thing. It's not something in our DNA. Exactly, we're not born guilty. You know, we just start imposing these things on us. So one of the chapters in the book is called Killing the Guilt. So we're going to try to kill the guilt.
Through living the moment.
Yes, exactly.
Not only living the moment, I'm enjoying it very much.
Yeah,
so speaking of the title of the book,
yes,
that raised a lot of questions as well. When you talk about saying yes, while we hear a lot about boundaries, saying no, etc., why is it linked to yes? Is it neuroscience? Is it something related to how our brain function for us to redirect its focus? What were the
It's much simpler than that. Okay. But I agree with you. But this is the number one question. Everybody asks me, why is it the power to say yes, not the power to say no? We need to learn how to say no, and I agree. We all need to learn how to say no. There's a full chapter on setting boundaries and how to say no. But the reason why I called it the power to say yes is that we need to say yes first. We need to understand, what do we want? Like, what kind of life? Like for me, for example, now, my big yeses is empowering women, supporting entrepreneurs. So it's so easy for me to say no to things that do not serve these two. So once I know what I want, it's much easier to say yes and to say no. So for example, a session today, even though we started at 8 a.m., we toured Lebanon, we had the Duncan team here, but it is empowering women, so I say yes. Like, I don't even think about it. If it was another topic or if it was for something else, I couldn't have fit it in my schedule. You know, so it's like knowing what you want, knowing what you're saying yes to, makes it so much easier to say no.
I have a colleague who wanted to ask about men, just to break the mood a bit. Why aren't we talking about them? Do they have any role to play?
Men are extremely important in the story. Okay, so first I was very blessed to be born in a family where I have an amazing father, two brothers. So from the grounds up, you know, I had important men in my life. And then we have a lot of men, whether our partners, people, colleagues, friends, etc., that play a very important role in our life. So men have, first, they need to understand. And a book like this, and this was the comment came from my dad. My dad is 79 years old, and he read my book because even if the aim is a book for women, he said, of course, I'm going to read it. And he was the first man to read it, actually. And his feedback was, oh my God, I didn't know all this. And his reaction was, why didn't you tell me this before? Like, okay, sorry. But his reaction was, I'm going to do many things differently with my colleagues, with people that work with me, because now I understand that women have a different career and a different journey than the journey of men. So first, understanding, if some of you, you're young, but if you have spouses going through menopause, you need to understand what are all the symptoms that they are going through, because it's hard and it's not something that goes like this. So first, it's the information for them to support better. And I remember I had a session with a group, we had 160 people, 60 men showed up, even though they know it's a book for women, and they were here to learn and to understand, because they have daughters, they have colleagues, and so this is one. From the other side, they also want a happy, meaningful life on their own terms. So the career focus, and career is my priority, and I don't care if I don't spend time with my family or my kids, etc. It's not for the generation anymore. Like, even though it was, like, we all know that our fathers maybe spent more time at work than doing anything else, sacrificing their family life, etc. But today, if I take my brothers, for example, and the younger generation, yes, they all want to also live, they want to be present for their kids, they want to attend every birthday, every soccer game, everything that's happening in their life as well. So the narrative is changing, because this straight line focus on career only is not the case anymore.
It's true. We are experiencing this with the younger colleagues. They have a sense of balance and that we did not have, honestly. I always tell them that I really respect that. And
he's nodding,
so he's exactly one of our colleagues is here. Just to end on maybe like a message from your part. If there's one message you would like every woman to walk away when, with the essence of this book, what would you tackle, or what would you highlight?
It would be mostly know what you want. Like, know what you want and go live an amazing life. Like, why not? You know? So it's like sometimes we make it too hard on ourselves. Then at the end of the day, it's relatively easy. So read the book and you'll see how easy it is.
Thank you so much. This was really a pleasure. And I'm going to give maybe an opportunity for questions.
And go wild. Ask any question you want.
Hi, Chrsitine. I started reading your book. It's very insightful, and you're right, it's easy to read, and there's a lot of added value for us. I have another question regarding men. So I have 3 men at home, 3 boys, including my husband, and whenever they hear the term women empowerment, it seems like they have an allergic reaction or something like this. So they're not going to read the book, I'll be honest. How can I get them to understand that empowering women doesn't mean that we're weakening men?
And I agree, because at some point, I think we went too far, but I think we needed to talk too much about women empowerment just to bring some balance and to bring the narrative to the next level. So for me, it's really not about it's about balance. It's about understanding that the journey, especially when it comes to business and career, the career path and journey of men is very different than the one of women. And this is what we need to normalize. We need to normalize that if a woman wants to take a couple of years off because she has young kids, to find it normal and not... because now what's happening is that women that are in an environment, let's say someone that is not working, surrounded by women that are working, she feels judged, that she's not working. And the other, if someone that is working, surrounded by women that are not working, then they feel judged, and because they are not working. So we just need to have this conversation with young men and women, okay? Because women also needs to feel that it's okay, and men need to understand that the journey is different. It's as simple as this. Just accept our differences and embrace our differences, and be happy to be a man and be happy to be a woman.
To break some cycles, I guess. Any other questions?
There's actually another thing that we didn't discuss, that as you said, it's very easy to read the book. Most people read it in 2 to 3 hours. But then the hard part is doing the work. Because reading and understanding and saying, yes, I can relate to this is something, doing the Wheel of Life or doing the 3 Lives of Stanford, or we also have a lot of exercises on time management, energy management that are very, very important to be able to live a happy, meaningful life. This is the hard part. And because of this, what we're doing now, we're doing workshops on the exercises. We're doing a retreat, actually, that Clara is organizing. We're taking 35 women to Georgia in the middle of nowhere to completely disconnect. In the morning, we'll do workshops on the exercises of the book, and the afternoon, we're discovering a new country. So it's like, it's about doing the work, not only about learning about the concepts. It's a bedside. Actually, there's a friend of my daughter that is 22 years old. She said something, and I loved it. She said, I'm 22, I read it now, but I'm sure at 30 I'm going to read it differently, and at 35 I'm going to read it differently. And this is because with this book and any personal growth book, you will hear what you need to hear at this particular moment. If you read it in 3 months, you're gonna remember other things because this is what you needed to hear.
Relate to whatever.
Exactly. You relate to whatever you really need in this particular moment in time.
Okay, thank you.
Come on, I've been talking for an hour. I'm sure you have questions.
They're very well, I think if anyone would like to ask questions while we have the book signing session, come in.
Of course. They didn't have a choice because I put their names on the cover. It's for Thea and Sarah. And so they were the first 2 to read it. And once I got their approval, this is where we published it and took it to the next level. And then my dad and then the rest of the family, of course.
We're going to wrap up and start the book signing session. Thank you, everyone.
For the book signing, لحظة مش حيين عليكم هالقد. So the whole idea when I'm signing the book, I'm always asking you, what is one thing you're saying yes to in 2026? Okay. So we're going to be, when signing the book, you need to think, what is one thing so that I can write it on the book, and this becomes your bedside table, and on your bedside table, and you remember it. Yes, yes, of course.
What's one thing you could tell an overthinker navigating too much no's in their lives right now?
It is normal to overthink, and so don't blame yourself or don't overthink your overthinking. So this is one. And second, most of the time when the brain is overthinking, it's because it's fascinating. I did a lot of workshops on how the brain works, and it changed my life because once you understand, you can trick your brain. And because your brain is here for you to survive, this is one. And second, it wants to prove you right. So whatever you tell your brain, it's going to prove you right. So for example, if you say I'm an overthinker, your brain wants to prove you right. So you're going to constantly be an overthinking exactly to confirm that you're right, because it doesn't know what's right or wrong. So for your brain, whatever you're telling yourself, it's right. So it's going to just prove you right. And the best example for this, when you decide you want to buy a red car, you start seeing red cars everywhere. Yeah, you know. So it's not like they were all hidden in garage, and the minute you decided to buy a red car, they all went out. It's just that this is the way the filtration system of our brain works. You know. So now that you're interested in red car, it's going to show you the red car. So first, don't say that you're an overthinker, okay? So that it doesn't prove you right.